San Jose paid a visit on Friday night to Prudential Center, and the Devils recorded their 7th straight win as they beat the Sharks by a score of 3-1. Now 7-1-0 at the start of the season. A pair of goals from Dougie Hamilton and Jake Gallen, improving to 4-0-0 on the season. Devils defenseman Brett Pesce joins us, and Brett, this was not an easy night at the rink, and I know no night necessarily is, but what was most satisfying about the way things turned out from your standpoint?
Yeah, you know what? You made a great point. There's no easy games in this league. It's the best league in the world for a reason. You know, every team has great and special players. But I think it's encouraging. Obviously, I don't think we had our best tonight, but good teams find ways to win, and when they don't have it, it's a long season, so I thought we did a good job of kind of grinding one out.
Well, and you're not robots. I mean, it's human nature.
Yep.
Sharks, they're not a great team, and we know that, but on a certain night, goalie's hot, somebody's scoring. So your first period was not even close to what you guys wanted. Was there just a mental change on everybody's part? Did you talk a little bit like, hey, it's got to be better in the second, or did you just know it?
Yeah, a little bit of both. Obviously, we knew that after coming into the dressing room after that first, it didn't feel great. I go back to our structure in our game, and I think to a man, we kind of all were just like, we have better in here, and just play our game, and it's going to work out, and the rest is history.
Devils with the victory, and now 7-1-0 on the season. When a team is going through a game like this one, where since San Jose is trying, and they've got some high-end talent, young but high-end, and they've got the lead, and you've got to stick with the process, as you just said, stick with your system and kind of grind your way through. What is that like? Compare that to a game where, tape-to-tape passes and everything is smooth. What's the mental challenge that this game provided?
Yeah, you know what? Just to stay sharp at all times. Like, they feed off transition. In games like this, sometimes you kind of want to make that extra pass and the pretty play and kind of mess around with the puck in the neutral zone. But honestly, I think it was good for our group to kind of have that period in the first. And it's a nice little message to kind of just be like, all right, like this is an NHL hockey game, and we're not going to win if we play like this. So, yeah, mess
around and find out,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and you're so right, Brett, that I always said, J.P. Parisi was Zach's dad, said, what's tough about winning all the time? The other team wants to win, too.
Yep.
And the Sharks played pretty darn well.
Yeah.
So you got to give them credit. But I'm just saying, like, you didn't get the goals, but you've had your chances. When Brendan Dillon steps up and gets a couple of goals like that, is that inspiring for, like, everybody, especially defensemen that can say, I might not score a lot, but I might get the one that counts?
Yeah, we all love that guy to death. He's a big part of our team and our room, and I think it's definitely a little boost to our group when you see Dilly scoring on back-to-back nights for sure.
Last thing is, and I mean it's a cliche, and you got to say it, but the crowd. Maddie and I are in the crowd. These people pay a lot of money. They go through a lot of work to get here. There's an anticipation that something good and exciting is going to happen with the Devils. Are you starting to feel that? You're winning at home regularly. Can you feed off the crowd yet?
Yeah, for sure. I think there's a lot of belief that that this is real and not just a fluke, and we kind of believe that since day one of camp. You can see everyone maturing, and it's just a different vibe here, and you could tell it's even a different vibe in the crowd and whatnot.
Well, it has been a joy to watch, and you can see those things on the ice, and the Devils now with 7 straight wins. I'll leave you with this. You don't have to respond. Last 3 games, game-winning goals have come from defensemen. Brendan Dillon, tonight Dougie Hamilton. That's the challenge on Sunday. Somebody else from the blue line's got to come through.
I'll call Luke out. I think he'll be the guy.
Oh, we were thinking of you, Brett.
I appreciate you guys, but I don't know.
Always got your back, my friend.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks very much for your time, Brett Pesce. What a delight he is. And let's be honest, Chico. As much as we follow this game and we're in every city, every barn around the National Hockey League, you see a player, you don't get a chance to talk to a visiting guy a lot. You get into that room, for instance, in Carolina when he was there, you might get a word or two with them, but you're talking to, it might be Seth Jarvis or Jordan Stahl or whomever it might be. Brett Pesce has just been such a breath of fresh air. Two things. One, we appreciate his time and he's thoughtful in his comments. Maybe that's number two, because number one is you see how good of a defenseman he is night in and night out. It's been a pleasure to watch him.
And what I like is he grew up in the Sleepy Hollow. He was just a kid playing high school hockey that loved it, but he said, okay, maybe I'm not gifted, but I got to figure out how to play this position. So then he started doing better. He was with the New Jersey Hitmen. He went to college, and he is one of the smartest, and not me saying it, the other defensemen and the goalies and everybody playing. He's one of the best with his sticks. Now you'd think, well, isn't everybody good with their sticks? But there is a whole theory and a thought process on where you hold your stick, how you quickly move it to get in the passing lane or to block the shot. It's not just, it just happens, and that's what I like about the guy. He's the type of guy, if you're a young hockey player, you believe that I can do some pretty nice things. I don't know if I can get to the NHL, but look at Brett Pesce. He built himself into what he is now, and I can do the same thing, and you can. But you've got to really work at it and be really intentional. Like that guy is intentional. When he made the mistake, I wasn't going to bring it up. Made one mistake tonight, 2-1, up the boards, and he could have cleared it, but whatever. And Allen had to come up with a big save. He goes over, head hangs, he slaps the goalie on the pads. Thank you. That's the kind of sincerity and the appreciation he has for his teammates.
As Brett Pesce helps the Devils on the defensive side of things, don't know if he'll be the guy that makes it 4 straight games at the game-winning goal.
That's amazing, man.
It could happen, but it's been the defense that's added, I'll call it the odd goal. He was referencing Luke, and you would expect him to score. And Dougie tonight. Brendan Dillon, that was a bit of a bonus the last 2 nights. But, again, 3 straight games where the Devils' defense has the game-winning goal. We'll have more from the Devils' locker room. We've got interviews to come. We've got head coach Sheldon Keefe to hear his thoughts. So while we wait for that, let's check out the highlights of this game. And it did not start on a good note for the New Jersey Devils, as Nico Hischier was called for a trip a minute 11 in. And more than that kind of symbolized the early struggles for the New Jersey Devils. But passes weren't connecting. They weren't getting out of the zone. They tried to do a little too much. Well, finally, San Jose took advantage of the miscues by the Devils, and they took a 1-0 lead. Devils can't gain control, though. Orlov finds Celebrini, moves in with a shot, save, rebound, another save by Jake. That one on Will Smith. Now the Devils will outlet. Here's Jack Hughes at center ice, stripped to the puck by Orlov, and Toffoli finds Celebrini. Slides it near side. Jack comes back, stopped it for a moment, lost it, and they score. And it's William Eklund with the power play goal. The streak comes to an end, and San Jose has a 1-0 lead. That streak on the penalty kill, the Devils were 21 for their last 21 coming into the game, but they were able to start a new streak because there were 3 other power play opportunities after that they stopped, and so they're now 3 for their last 3. And it still, though, was a 1-0 lead for San Jose.
Yeah, and as the game went on, they could have given up another one. There had some, Celebrini and Smith, they've got some good skill out there, Sharks, and when they got the man advantage. But just a yeoman effort by the goaltender, by the defense, and they kept it to that one. And what do you say? Let's go for another 20.
Why not? Exactly. Yaroslav Askarov was a star tonight and the best player for the San Jose Sharks. He stopped the Devils on a couple of first-period opportunities. Paul Cotter was stopped, pad save. Andre Palat had an opportunity, but it was Askarov who came up big time and time again. 8 shots for the Devils in the first period. And, well, here's an example of another great stop by the goalie. Jack behind the net, out high. Hamilton cuts to his right, gives it to his left. Pratt slides it down low. Centering pass comes through. And then a diving save by Askarov on Hischier. Hischier, he literally dove to poke it away. With the blocker pad he got in, what a save it was.
Oh, great read by him. You know, and you're looking at that and you're saying, is this the kind of night it's going to be for the Devils? Not only aren't they going to get any breaks, when they do have a glorious chance, the goalie's going to come up and make a huge save like he did there.
And it was 1-0 after one in favor of the Sharks. Late in the period, though, Dmitry Orlov was called for a trip. The power play carried over to the start of the second, and you would hope that the Devils, as good as they are and believing it now, and as Brett Pesce just told us, seeing it from the start of camp, you would hope that they, in the intermission, would discuss what needed to be done in a calm fashion and say, let's come out, we got a power play, let's take advantage, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what they did, and they tied this game at 1. Gathers it in at the hash marks. Looks around to the blue line, Hamilton. Cross ice to Jack. Back to Dougie. Fakes the shot. Gives it to Brett. Moves to his left. Wrists one down low for Hischier. Shot save. Rebound cleared. Not out. Hamilton scores! Power play goal by Douglas. And it's tied at 1. Start of a big night for Dougie Hamilton. He made key defensive plays, too. He was down on the ice, keeping pucks in the zone offensively, blocking shots. I mean, it was a well-rounded game for Doug Hamilton. Doug. Does anybody call him Doug?
I don't really know, but I'm going to start calling him Hammer. Doug Hammer Hamilton, because he is blasting that puck. And fortunately tonight he found the back of the net twice.
40 seconds in, the first of 2 for Hamilton on the power play. His second goal of the season. Dawson Mercer, Nico Hischier with the assist. But as the Devils were still kind of celebrating that goal and the fans were enjoying the tie game, and before the announcement of that goal was made, we had a key turning point in this one. There was an apparent goal scored by the Sharks. Jeff Skinner credited with the goal. But those guys who are the video coaches, Ian Greenwald and Alex Matheson, they spied something of an offside, and the Devils challenged it, and it turns out that Alexander Wenberg was offside. He came in, made the shot on Allen, that was saved, puck was in the crease, Skinner put it home. And so that just turned the momentum around.
Well, just think if you're the Sharks, right? You know that Devils are all playing you a little bit, but you're saying, okay, we got the first goal, we're getting the breaks. Hey, we just scored a big goal, and so you're all pumped up. And then you look at it and say, oh, no, we didn't. And that's a sag. That's a sag job for the team that it goes against, especially when they know they're not as good as the team they're playing. They really needed that break, and they didn't get it, and that seemed to turn it around for the Devils.
That apparent goal came on a delayed penalty call.
Yeah.
And after they reviewed and determined that the play was offside, you're not allowed to get a free shot, right? Could you imagine? Right. I mean, there's guys swinging lumber and just taking guys out. So the goal is waved off, but the penalty is assessed. So the Devils, who had given up the power play goal in the first, kill that one off, and that got them off to 3 straight to end the game. So just an odd situation. Devils had the lead, or tied it, had the momentum, gave it back on an apparent goal, got it back because of no goal, and then got it back a little bit more on killing the power play for the San Jose Sharks. So the Devils tied at 1. Later on in the period, Jeff Skinner called for Hook. Wasn't happy with the call, I'd say.
No kidding.
The stick was up along the crook of the arm of Dawson Mercer, who may have, I won't say embellished, but he just wanted to make sure the official saw that the stick is in my elbow and my arm is being pulled back. Well, the official said, that's a penalty. That's a hook. Devils on the power play, and, we're going to call this the play of the game. Brought to you by Prudential, the Devils' official financial services partner. Top of the right wing circle, moves to his left, his pass down low off a stick, picked up by Hischier. He swoops out high, gives it to Jack in the corner. He'll move out as they switch places. Jack cuts to his left, far circle, looks around, gives it to Hamilton. 20 to go in the power play. Now to Jack in the corner, moves along the goal line, skates behind the net, centers a blast, they score! Dougie Hamilton with his second of the night, and the Devils lead 2-1. And the hammer was being displayed.
And just think of, we've talked about this, at least I did, the twists and turns of hockey. So Jeff Skinner's the one who scores a goal, but it gets called back. Then he's the one who takes a penalty. He thought it was iffy. He lost it, but he still had to go to the penalty box, and the Devils score. So instead of being a hero, I won't say he was a zero, I won't say that, but he was instrumental in 2 turning points in this hockey game.
Jack Hughes, Nico Hischier with the assist. Devils take the lead. They would not relinquish. 9:08 the time of the goal. And going back just for a moment to that challenge for offside that was successful. So, Wenberg had a shot. That was stopped. Skinner had the goal. Those are 2 shots that should have been put up on the board. But they were wiped out because the play was offside. Oh. So, no shots, it turns out, in the entire period for San Jose. 2 goals for the Devils, no shots. You want to talk about defensive presence.
And that's only happened 3 times before. I mean, it's pretty rare, Matty. And I got to tell you, the Sharks in the end of that period, remember they had some chances, but hit a stick or they'd shoot wide. I know Toffoli had a couple, and I'm just hoping, boy, that's pretty rare that a team doesn't even get 1 shot on net. But it happened tonight in the second period.
They did not get a shot on goal for the last 5:09 of the first. So we had 20 minutes in the second. That's 25:09. I can add that up. They did get a shot at 2:32 into the third period, and so they went 27-41 without a shot on goal.
Yeah, and we're not talking attempts. I mean, they tried, but whether they deflected or whatever. But, I mean, that's... You got to really work at doing that. I want to congratulate them. That's a long time without a shot on goal.
Still, it was just a 1-goal lead, so anything could happen. And late in the game, I gave Hamilton the play of the game. And, 2 power play goals for Dougie and, the big one. But you know what? We have to be fair. On this particular play, when Colin Graf got behind the defense, the game is kind of on the line. The Devils are protecting a 1-goal lead. We're going to call this the co-play of the game, brought to you by Prudential, and credit Jake Allen with this. Here's a breakaway. Colin Graf moves in, shots. Hey, by Allen! Oh, how did Graf get behind the D? He did, but Allen was there. Got just enough of it on the glove, and the Devils had that 2-1 lead.
No, absolutely right. Good call by you, Matty, because breakaways are hard anytime. But that wasn't – the guy just went down and hit him right in the crest. Made a pretty good shot leaning into the middle of the ice, shooting it back. But like you said, Jake had the big catching mitt there and made the save.
And later on, it wasn't the glove, but another part of Jake's equipment that came into play.
That's right.
Will Smith's pass off the skate of Hamilton. He gets it back. It's into Celebrini with a shot, and that's off the mask of Allen. And he wound up taking it off, and that was fine once the mask came off, and it's a safety thing. Devils had the puck. They dumped it in. It was touched up by San Jose. They blew the whistle at that point, but the puck stayed out, and that wasn't just anybody. With all due respect to Colin Graf, good scorer in college and may become a pretty good NHLer. They have high hopes for him, but Macklin Celebrini is going to be a superstar in this league, and that puck right off the coconut.
Yes, because he was smart, Matty. If it's like maybe 8 inches either side of the mask, it's in. He said, I got to get this up over the shoulders. Yes, but not in the middle where you hit the goalie right in the mask. And the referee doesn't know. Once the goalie takes the mask off, he doesn't know if the clip, became dislodged or the goalie's hurting it. And so good call by the official. Then they had the face-off at center. But if Jake Allen wasn't into it before then, he certainly was after, taking a hard blast to the face.
And so Ryan Warsofsky, the head coach of the San Jose Sharks, would pull Askarov for the extra skater as time winding down, looking for the equalizer. Connor Brown was out there for a shift a minute and a half late in the game, just trying to help get the puck out of the zone, and this is how it ended from a scoring standpoint. Free puck down low, though, for Hamilton. Chips it off the glass. Brown sends it up, not out. Orlov keeps it alive. Minute 13 to go. Here's Wenberg. Now for Celebrini. On to Eklund. Out high Orlov. Goes far circle. Smith will handle. Moves out high. 1:02 to go. Orlov with it now. To Celebrini. Plays it in front. Save made by Allen. Loose puck for Hamilton. Sends it around. Brown chips it past Orlov. He has the puck at center ice. It's an empty net for Connor Brown. He scores. And the Devils have a 3-1 lead, and they're 47 seconds away from number 7 in a row. And they secured it. Brown's third goal of the season. More about this game, but first let's hear from the head coach.
Face-off play that we saw it coming, yet still weren't able to stop it. But he's tested to the end. He's solid. He's dialed in. Credit to his focus.
What's the added value for a team when you do find those ways to win when you're not playing your best game?
Yeah, I mean, we lost this exact game last year, for the most part. So, the way the game went, as I recall, last year, their goaltender made a ton of saves, and we couldn't really score, and we ended up losing. But you got to find a way. Like I said, our penalty kill gives one up early. We take a penalty early first, which is not great, and then that's really it from there. And then our power play with their opportunities they had, got a hold of the game for us at the start of that second period, and we never really looked back from there.
Big props to your video staff there on that goal.
Huge, yeah. It's a tough one. It's close because it's, it's just you're trying to find the right angle to be certain that puck wasn't on his stick. So I think we got about one frame lucky on that one. We'll certainly take it. Great job by them.
Curious too, what was going through your mind through that sequence? It was kind of weird. It was like you had the offsides and then you challenge it, and then Nemec has that penalty.
Yeah, it's rare obviously that there's a penalty on the same play. So I haven't really seen that before. We weren't quite sure which way it was going to go. Of course, we were hoping that it would wipe out everything that happened. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the time on the clock goes back to the offside as well. So I'm not sure how they recorded the penalty in terms of the time it was taken, but you can kind of understand when you think about it how they can't exactly wipe out infractions because who knows what could have happened. In that case, it's a trip, but it could have been something else. But that's just the way it goes. And now we know that rule, and hope it doesn't happen again.
With Cody Glass going to be missing the next couple of weeks, how important has Dawson Mercer's better play this year been that you can put him in the third line and know that you're not going to miss a beat with that one?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's less to do with his play this year. If I'm not mistaken, he did that exact job at the hardest time of the year in the playoffs for us, and I thought did a good job for us there as well. He can do it when we need to, But I thought we were certainly a center short today. We were having struggles on face-offs and all these different things. There's a lot of load on Nico today because of that. But certainly nice that Merce can take those reps and give us that option to do so. But on a day like today, when you don't have your best stuff from line to line to line, you really start to feel that absence of the center.
Coach, you've talked about looking to improve certain areas of the game for the team and how they still have a little bit to go before you think they're at their optimal level of play. I mean, how much better can this team get, and what areas do you think could be improved to bring it to what you would call a very happy state for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think aside from special teams, perhaps, because I think we've been very, very strong on both sides, power play and penalty kill. There, I think our 5-on-5 game, offensively and defensively, in all regards can get better. Our execution can get better. We could generate more on offense. Like I just referenced. Like that. We have 2 breakaways today. Guys getting behind us, like little things like that. Where they're going to happen periodically. The best defensive teams in the league, they give up chances. It happens, but those are the kind of details that we're not going to let slip. We're going to talk about them. We're not going to just brush them under the rug. We've got to get better in those types of areas. But just our overall execution and just our habits and details, shift to shift, line to line, game to game, just the consistency of it. We're going to continue to stay on top of that.
Thanks, Sheldon.
Yeah, thanks.
Devils head coach Sheldon Keefe concluding his post-game news conference. And the play he was referencing is the one that we talked about as kind of a turning point. Goal is waved off because of offside, but it was a delayed penalty. And yeah, you could get away with an awful lot if you didn't at least assess the penalty. There could be all sorts of mayhem. Yeah, the time reverted. The goal didn't count, but Nemitz had to serve the penalty.
Yeah, Matty, maybe they could add, if it's a slash, you could hurt the player. If it's a spear, if it's a dangerous play, but that was just the defender trying to prevent the shot and got a hook. So I thought, but maybe they don't want to break it down that way. So, but you're right. Matty brought it up when we're watching. Imagine if the guy going back says, well, the guy's going to shoot, so I'm just going to whack him one and slash him. Well, you shouldn't call that off. You should get a penalty for that. So I'm sure that's part of the process and thinking of why they went with the penalty.
Yeah, and what Sheldon was also referring to on that offside call, because Wenberg did not have control of the puck. He was clearly across the line. Both skates were across the line.
Yeah.
But had he had the puck, just think about if he had the puck at center ice, controlling it, and spun, and the puck was still at center ice, but his skates came across the line, because he was in control of the puck, it would not be considered offside. So they had to judge that too, and he didn't have control of the puck. And I think that's what he was referring to about the one frame, because the skates were clearly, it wasn't like some offsides that you see like, oh, is that offside? Let's, zoom in. That was clearly offside, but I guess they also wanted to determine control. And Wenberg did not have control of the puck.
No, it just was a good turning point all the way around. Devils didn't get many breaks, today. Part of it, on them. But they did get the one big break right there on that goal that really turned the game around, I thought.
And they got 2 power play goals from Dougie Hamilton, who spoke with the media.
Dougie, it looked like from that first period to the second and third, you guys kind of looked like a different team. Nico said, you guys didn't play your best in that first and took a deep breath. What does that speak to about this team, acknowledging that and then going out there and changing it?
Yeah, I think definitely a tough first period. I mean, for myself, I was pretty bad. So we had a good look on the power play to end the period, and then started off with the power play, and I think that kind of just turned the momentum on for us, and then a few more power plays and stuff. So, and yeah, I don't know what to say. It was ugly first period and kind of not our best game, but good goalie and power play, I guess, wins us the game.
I was going to say, in games like that, how important is it for those special teams to really come through in those moments, right? When you're
it's huge, Yeah, it's every team's good in the league. There's little things that every game comes down to, and those are chances to win games. And, like our PK's been unbelievable, and power play has been really good too, and changes games.
Normally we see you take those shots from real up high the blue. It looked like you were a little further down there on these opportunities. A little different than...
Yeah, I was pretty close in there. I mean, we had so many good looks, and could have had more, and we had a lot of big saves and stuff, so at least we got those.
Is that part of the rotation in power play when you guys are kind of moving around, where you kind of find yourself in those deeper positions?
I mean, first one, I just creeped in and kind of got a loose puck, and second one, it's not like a set play or anything, but you can read off guys, and obviously Jack is unreal, and just trying to get open for him, and saw some space.
How about Jake, just, not facing a single shot in the second? That's not easy, I would imagine, but then the way he comes up huge in that third for you guys, making some of those massive saves.
Yeah, he was unreal. He has been all season, and he's been really good for us.
Thanks, Dougie.
Third straight game with the defenseman game-winning goal. Did you feel the pressure from Dilly coming for your power play spot?
I mean, he can have it if he wants.
funny moment there at the end of did he feel that Brendan Dillon was coming for his power play spot? As Dillon, of course, had the 2 goals in the last 2 games, but it was Dougie Hamilton with the pair tonight, and the Devils now take on a Colorado team.
But before that, Matty, you brought it up, folks. Tune in just for this. The last 3 games, who scored the game-winning goal? A defenseman, Matty brought up. So just tune in Sunday to see who's going to score the game-winning goal for the Devils. Now, I'm already assuming they're going to win. I think they are. But you're right, Matty. That is great balanced scoring when your defensemen have scored 3 goals in the last 3 games, all winners.
Yeah, and the Devils will try to extend that streak and their winning streak on Sunday when they take on Colorado. They'll look for their 8th straight win before they embark on a 4-game road trip. But it's not going to be easy. Now, Colorado is playing on Saturday, an afternoon game in Boston. The game on Sunday is 1 o'clock here at Prudential Center. Back-to-back, always difficult. But let's see, Cale McCarr, Nathan McKinnon, Scott Wedgwood.
But you know what will be easier? Sunday, you say it's not going to be easier. Getting up for that game will be easier than getting up for the San Jose Sharks because they will have real fear. And they better have because, you know, there's about 4 teams that are in the running, I think, Vegas and Colorado out west, and we're going back-to-back with Colorado. So you don't want to look like you're going to be outplayed in those 2 games.
Yeah, there'll be the return engagement on Tuesday. Last year, Colorado won both games, outscoring the Devils 9-1. So you're right. They better be on their toes. The Devils are a good team, and they will be because they understand what's at stake and how they don't want to get burned by a very good team. So it'll be a different approach for sure. Like you said, it'll be easier for the Devils to get up as they look for that 8th straight victory, and what a start it's been for the season for the New York Devils. That game, as I said, starts at 1 o'clock. Our coverage begins on the Devils Hockey Network at 12:50.